Ghost. Week 13, buddy. How we doing today?
Doing well, man. It's a juicy slate. A lot of high overs in this slate, and we always take the over. No one lives for unders. So hopefully all these games sail over and get a couple 70-point totals on the board here.
That's right. I don't know if you noticed, I'm wearing my Michigan Nico Collins jersey because it is officially Nico Collins Day. Now that Brandon Cooks is out, but let's get into the actual slate. First game, Green Bay at Chicago. Justin Fields is playing. Do you have any interest in Justin Fields? I know he's one of the highest impact fantasy players we've seen this year. I'm 100% out on him this week, but am I making a mistake?
I have some in large field. He's not in any of my main builds. I'm just so invested in one of the games, but I have him in large field contests. Kind of went overlook on a slate like this just because he was injured last week, and I don't see any reason why the train would stop rolling here. He sat out 1 week. He's back healthy. They have nothing to play for. So if he wasn't ready to go, he wouldn't be playing.
That's my issue too, is why they're rushing him out there. But yeah, I get it. They must not think it's a severe re-injury risk with the shoulder. On the other side, Aaron Rodgers against this Bears defense. This Bears defense has absolutely nobody healthy. Nobody's playing, and even if they were healthy, it's terrible. Do you like this spot for Aaron Rodgers? Weather looks clear, maybe a little windy at best, but this could be an absolute smash spot for Aaron Rodgers, who Mike White just tore apart this Bears defense last week.
Yeah, it's really tough for me not to. I mean, the Green Bay offense has been a roller coaster, to say the least, this season, but Rodgers against your Chicago Bears, I'm not necessarily sure if that's your team, but that's your town.
No.
So that's your town. So
yeah, it's my
town. Against the Bears, man, like he owns this franchise. Like it's the one thing where it's tough for me not to go there, at least in some large. Like it's the same kind of thing for me as Justin Fields. Like I'm playing both sides of this game in large field only, just because of the fact that Justin Fields can break any slate on any given time. We've seen that in the past couple of weeks. Aside from his injury last week, he has slate breaking ability, absolutely. And then you look at Aaron Rodgers in that punt range, man. Like everyone's going Trevor Lawrence. I get it. I'm completely off T-Law this week, and I'll talk about that when we get to that game. But like for me, it's Aaron Rodgers, and there's other guys in that range that I'd much rather go to in large field tournaments. So am I playing him in my main lineup? Absolutely not. But I do have some Rodgers to Watson. Absolutely.
Awesome. I think this is an absolute smash spot for Aaron Jones. He's one of my favorite running back plays on the slate. I know he split some time, but he is finally priced under 7K. It is 6.9K, which is a nice price, but under 10% ownership. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful place for Aaron Jones to be. You could stack him with Rodgers too. You know he's going to get 3 or 4 catches. My issue here is that Rodgers is going to check out a run plays in the red zone and just try to throw for 4 touchdowns. So again, if you're playing GPPs, I think Rodgers is certainly in play. Christian Watson, Allen Lazard, fantastic spots. I think I like Lazard here a little bit more just because of red zone usage. I mean, Christian Watson is getting a ton of touchdowns, but it is those deep plays. I think this Bears coverage is perfect for Allen Lazard to kind of tear apart their zone defense that they run. Really don't have any love for Tunyon or Cole Kmet. I guess if you're going to stack Justin Fields with anybody, it's Cole Kmet. I'm 100% off Justin Fields. But let's get to this quick question here before we move on to the next game. 5K play on FanDuel. Definitely not Warren. Najee Harris is playing. Deshaun Jackson.
5K.
Absolutely not. I would go with Sky Moore. And I know my other guy I'll talk about in a little. Actually, I don't even know if I can talk about him on the show. We'll save it for Discord. The Discord diamond has been posted in the article.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it on the show. We're not going to give the goodies away for free.
If he has to be 5K flat, I guess you can't even play Sky Moore on FanDuel. I don't think you want to go that low, do you? Maybe like Tyler Conklin? I don't know.
No, it's really gross down there, man. Like we don't do
so much value on the slate. Do you even have to get to 5K? I mean, unless you're loading up with studs, Hockey Brothers. I'm not going to tell you to recreate your lineup here, but that's a tough price range. I don't know. Yeah. I think if it has to be 5K flat, I guess I'll go with Tyler Conklin, and I hate that. You're praying for a touchdown.
Yeah, you have to.
All right, we'll move on. Maybe Robert Tunyon, 4,900. There you go. Pair him with Aaron Rodgers. Moving on to the next game. Pitt at Atlanta. The total, I believe, is 43 flat. My favorite quarterback on the slate in terms of overall price, value, and expected output is Kenny Pickett. He's going to be like 2% owned. He is my main lineup quarterback because what it does for the rest of my lineup. I want guys like Devontae Adams. I want guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Jacobs, Tyreek Hill if you want to do that. Like, he makes a lot fit. Travis Kelce especially. Mariota, I'm not playing. I won't play him without Kyle Pitts, so I'm done for the season on Marcus Mariota. Really don't have any interest in these running backs for Pittsburgh. I think it is a great spot for Najee Harris. I don't trust the health. Is dealing with a foot issue, I believe, as well. So that's kind of just scary. Jalen Warren, that's it is gross. Yeah, I was gonna say that is
I'm looking now, and it's like, man, we're talking
Conklin
about
or Tanyan for me on FanDuel, because
it's
on
really
FanDuel
bad.
you need touchdowns. So it's gross. So as long as you know, that's good stuff. But Kenny Pickett, his passing prop for passing touchdowns over 1.5 passing touchdowns is plus 120. That is the shortest price it has been all season long. So Vegas respects him. This Atlanta pass defense is brutal. I believe they grade in the bottom 4, 29th in pass defense DVOA. So the reason I like Pickett, I'm not expecting 30 points from him. When you're looking at a slate that has Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, and I guess Justin Fields, if you want to talk about pure upside, like Kenny Pickett is far, far and away from those guys. So I understand that there is serious risk here with playing Kenny Pickett, but he's rushing for 30 yards a game over the past month. So, I mean, that's 3 points right there. That's 75 passing yards in fantasy points. So if he can get to 220, 230, 240, anything over 240 would be fantastic for my lineups and get a passing touchdown or two and get those 30 rushing yards. That's all I'm asking for. Go get me 20 points somehow. He hasn't scored 20 fantasy points all season long, but looking at props, everything in the market and the matchup against Atlanta's pass D that we just talked about, this is a perfect spot for Kenny Pickett to have, I guess, his coming out party, if you will. So it's certainly risky. The risk on the other side too is Atlanta plays so slow that there's just not a lot of clock to be had. So Pickett needs to be very efficient. But Atlanta's defense, let me get my notes here on the coverage, runs a lot of cover 3. I think number 1 in the NFL in terms of cover 3 rate. And that is a fantastic matchup for Pat Freiermuth. They're also going to run some cover 1 and cover 2, which is great for Deontay Johnson and George Pickens. I like the upside a little bit more with George Pickens, but if I had to pick one guy to stack him with, it's going to be Pat Freiermuth on DraftKings just for the discount there. You're getting both guys combined a stack of 9,500. So pretty much the price of one elite player for a stack in a fantastic matchup. So I'm going with Kenny Pickett today.
I dig it.
And I'm not running it back with anybody. I'm not going to force Drake London in there or anything. I'm playing Pickett solely for the focus on getting these studs that I want in these games that we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's going to be Pickens. I'm playing him in many different formats. I certainly think he's cash viable as well in that 5K range. A lot of people are going to Zay Jones, but I'm going to talk about why I don't necessarily. I'm too fond of the Jacksonville offense today, so I'm probably not going to play Zay Jones chalk, but to be determined. There's still a lot of time before lock, but yeah, for me, it's going to be Pickens in that 5K range, especially over a guy like Zay Jones. And Pat Fry is one of maybe 2 tight ends that I'm playing today that is not named Travis Kelce. So I'm absolutely in on those 2 guys. I'm not playing Pickett, but I do see the appeal to getting that cheap stack in there.
Yeah, he is probably my favorite quarterback on this slate in terms of value. Moving on to Denver, Baltimore. Should we move away from Denver, Baltimore? I think.
Yeah, I'm not playing anyone in this game.
Gus Edwards does have a really nice rushing prop. Jason mentioned that on the Win Daily show yesterday. So if you're just looking at the market and you don't want to play, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know who Gus Edwards is really priced around. I'd prefer Pacheco on DraftKings and that price range.
100%.
Edwards but because Gus doesn't catch any passes, that game's just gross. I think both defenses are certainly in play. We'll move on to the early morning shootout. Total of 51.5. Chalk Trevor Lawrence against Jared Goff and the Lions in the Dome in Detroit. Trevor Lawrence, I'll give you my thoughts on him. I think he's perfect cash game quarterback. He is going to be the chalk cash game quarterback on DraftKings today, so you could always eat that just to protect yourself. I have no interest in GPP. I hope that doesn't kill me. I'm not saying Lawrence is a bad play. He certainly is, but there certainly is a good play. But Trevor Lawrence just to me does not warrant 15 to 20% ownership, no matter what the matchup is. And the issue I have with Trevor Lawrence, and me and a buddy have been really looking into Trevor Lawrence when he succeeds, when he struggles. He struggles when he's pressured and when people blitz a lot on Trevor Lawrence. He's getting better. He certainly looked better last week, but the Ravens don't blitz a ton. Detroit blitzes a lot. And Trevor Lawrence really isn't a mobile quarterback. If he can run for 20 yards here, I think that's fantastic for those that do trust Lawrence in this matchup. But I think I'm just going to play a ton of Christian Kirk, and that's going to be my exposure to Lawrence and run it back on the other side with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I just don't like Trevor Lawrence, close to 6K. But again, I think for cash, it is fine. But yeah, I'm sticking to my research that I've done that shows he really struggles against teams that blitz a lot. And Detroit Lions defense is getting better over the past couple of weeks. Like Josh Allen didn't kill him. I mean, they almost lost that game. So I don't know. I'm just out. It's the ownership. If he was 5%, absolutely, I'd find a new narrative to kind of support while playing. But it's an ownership thing for me at the end of the day. On paper, it's a great play. The Lions defense is bad overall, but they are getting better and they blitz a lot. So for me, I'm out. And don't get me started on chalk Zay Jones. 20% owns Zay Jones. I'm good on that. So Detroit will run. What do they run the most of? They run a lot of cover 3 as well. That's actually a better matchup for Marvin Jones against the zone defense. That's usually when you and I play Marvin, is against teams that play a lot of zone, but they will blitz a ton. And that is advantage Christian Kirk, and they will run a lot of cover 1 man. Sorry, I haven't had any coffee this morning. Running late too. So Christian Kirk's my guy.
I'm not playing T-Law anywhere, cash included. I'm not playing him anywhere. I can't do it. I really don't see the appeal. ETN is, for me, he looks really banged up, like severely banged up. I don't get how that's going to work out in that backfield. It's going to be a lot of dump offs for them to move the ball, if they're even able to move the ball, man. Like, I don't get it. I have little to no attraction whatsoever to the Jacksonville side of the football today at all. My interest is on the pardon?
No Kirk.
I am playing Kirk.
Okay,
but that's it. That's it. Yeah, outside of Kirk, there's little to that. That's why I said little to no and not no attraction at all. I have a little bit of Kirk just for you, a little 1-2 stack with my boy Amon-Ra St. Brown. But
thank you.
That I'm not playing Zay Jones. I'm not playing T-Law anywhere, bro. I just don't see it. I really, if that's what if Trevor Lawrence is the guy that puts up 25 on my head today, I will sleep like a baby. That is, it's not the scenario at all whatsoever for him. He's not playing a defense that will allow him to stretch the field. And you're counting on dump offs for him to absolutely blow up on the slate when there's extremely elite quarterbacks all over the place, all over the pricing grid. There's elite quarterbacks. So for me, I'm going to be completely out. I do like Amon-Ra St. Brown a ton. He's a lock for me in cash and tournaments.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
You could that's chalk that I'm fine eating in tournaments too. You absolutely have to play him in cash. There's no way around it. If your cash build currently does not have Amon-Ra St. Brown, restart. That's it. Simple as that. And I'm going right back to Jamal Williams as well, man. Like at 6K, the red zone upside is still there. I get it. Swift is still getting touches in the red zone.
No, it's a good spot.
The script that I'm playing is that Jacksonville is having trouble moving the football. That's the whole point of me fading the Jacksonville offense. I need Jamal Williams to be able to run the football in that script, and that's exactly what's going to happen. If it plays out the way that my exposure is set up, it is set up to this game, it's 100% Jamal Williams all the way. So I am playing Jamal Williams at 6K. I think it's viable for both formats. The red zone upside is, I don't want to say it's second to none, but it's as close to second to none as it gets for a guy. Like it's getting to that point, man. Like it's just, if they're inside the 10, you're sitting on your couch watching Jamal Williams get the football 3 times. That's what it is. So for me,
it's Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb-esque at this point.
Like it's out of control for a guy that of Jamal Williams' stature. It's as good as it's gonna get. If anything, it's even more than that. So that's it. I'm gonna sit back and enjoy this game, watching the Detroit Lions going off. And I'm not playing him today, but I'm just excited to watch Jameson Williams take a football field again, obviously. But no, do not play him. If anyone's in the comments asking about Jameson Williams, absolutely not. But
no, he's 4,700 on DraftKings.
Yeah,
he's not even a punt.
Yeah, it's not even a 3K stone cold minimum where you're hoping for a big play. You know, like it's just, I'm just excited to watch him take the football field. But Detroit's going to control this game. I don't see how they don't.
hopefully they blitz a lot and bring pressure to Lawrence because we are both out. I'm fine if he's your cash game quarterback, though. Let that be known. I think that's a smart way to go. On the other side, ownership projections right now I'm looking at for Travis Etienne, 28%. What are you doing there? I faded 100%. I'm not playing him in cash either because I think I'm going to go with the I'm probably just playing Christian Kirk everywhere. What are your thoughts on Travis Etienne ownership? Does he break the slate today if you fade him? What's the move? I'm fading him. You're like, so whatever your answer is, it doesn't matter to me. It's more for the public. I don't trust it. Jermichael Hasty was very good last week too. And passing down work, I still think is going to Jermichael Hasty. I don't think they're going to use ETN for a 3-down roll when he's got a banged up foot, the one that was surgically repaired. So it's a scary situation for me. And that ownership's just, it's not there for me. I'm out on that. And Detroit's run defense, again, has been getting better. I know Singletary kind of had a good day with him, but you have to respect Josh Allen and the run from him. So I think that opens up for everything. I mean, any team that Josh Allen plays, Singletary seems to run for 4.5 or 5 a game. Now with James Cook, too. I mean, you saw him run over the Patriots. So I think that's just a product of what Josh Allen makes the defense do. But Travis Etienne, 30% for the sake of this conversation, in or out?
I'm trying to find an analogy to be how out I am. No,
You're
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Under no circumstance am I playing Travis Etienne this week. 0.
All right. We talked about our love for Amon-Ra St. Brown, Christian Kirk. You guys understand they're wide receiver ones. Fantastic spot, good matchup. Vegas total supports playing them. DJ Chark, I think, is a respectable punt at 3,800. But other than that, I have no interest in Evan Ingram or Brock Wright or whatever the tight end carousel is in Detroit. And if you want crazy leverage, you could play one of these defenses, but that's probably a lineup.
Both Chark and Marvin Jones facing their former teams in this one.
Dude, I'm not a revenge narrative guy, and I wrote about how much I hate that shit, but there is revenge narratives everywhere. Literally every game, I think, almost has one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If you want to say revenge in the Green Bay Chicago game, it's actually it's not because Equinemius St. Brown to Chicago. So there's a narrative in every game, I think. And then Pitt, Atlanta, George Pickens is from there and went to Georgia. Yeah. So I don't know. And then Denver with Tavius Murray, right? Yeah. So every game's got one. That's gross. Moving on. Cleveland, Houston. Actually, let's get a couple questions. Jones or Dillon for, I think I answered that one. I'm all in Aaron Jones. I think that's a fantastic spot. Just joined it and not sure. No, so we're going the early games and we'll work our way into the afternoon. But Lockett or Metcalf, if I had to choose, I'm always going to choose Metcalf. And I hate that question, though. Our answer is usually make one lineup.
Duplicate the lineup. And yeah.
But if it's a season-long question, hopefully you don't have both either because that sucks too. It's been productive, but the decision would suck. Jameson Williams over Jamal. No, I am 100% out. Hurst or Moreau, value tight end. I'm going Moreau all day there. With Jamar Chase back, I think Hayden Hurst kind of takes the back seat. We'll get to that game too. Hey, Jameson Williams. All right, just for the sake of the video proof, I had to pull this up. We'll have it if that happens, Brian, but I think you're nuts. Moving on, but nuts what makes you a good player sometimes too. Cleveland at Houston. Deshaun Watson coming back to Houston. We don't need to talk about him. Do you have any interest in playing him, I guess? But I'm not going to get into.
No, absolutely not. I'm not spending any time mentioning Deshaun Watson at all. I do like Nick Chubb a ton in this game. Nico Collins on the other side. The only thing, man, like Nico Collins, bro. You like getting Denzel Ward on the outside is a serious problem. That's a problem.
I don't love the spot for him. I love the price. That's a
serious problem. I like the price. I like the point per dollar upside. On DraftKings only. On FanDuel, I'm not even playing him.
I don't think Denzel Ward scares me that much. Dude, Nico's got 5 inches on him. Half a foot.
Bro, Denzel Ward is I hate picking on matchups with Denzel Ward. I absolutely hate it. That's the one thing that I'll say.
He's priced at 4,200. I think he's a fine fill in the blank type of player to get other guys working. I don't love it. Are
they going to be able to move the ball?
So the thing about Kyle
Allen. Is Kyle Allen going to throw it past 10 yards?
Nico Collins doesn't run that deeper routes. I think he's severely underutilized in this offense. Maybe he's not a great route runner. Still pretty raw, but he is coming alive this year. So I do like all my dynasty shares of Nico Collins. But Kyle Allen has tunnel vision. All he did was throw the ball to DJ Moore when he was with Carolina, and they were in similar scripts where they're projected to get their ass kicked. I think Nico gets 6 for 60 and 12 points is fine at his price.
I'm cool with that. I'm absolutely cool with that. Okay, so
Nick Chubb.
I'm playing Nick Chubb a ton everywhere. Everywhere and anywhere I can fit Nick Chubb, I'm trying to. That's about it. Chubb and Nico.
We got spam in the chat. Sexyfind.xyz. Find your love here. Don't
find
click
your
that
love
link.
here.
Dameon Pierce, what are your thoughts on him? Cleveland,
completely out.
I don't think the dude has got 30 yards combined in 2 games. It is a fantastic matchup against Cleveland, but I'm with you. I lean cash only. I don't think there's any GPP upside for him. But that's more of an ownership thing. He's going to be 20% owned in single entry contests. I would much rather have Isaiah Pacheco.
100%. Or what's it called? Or play Williams. But like for me, there's other running backs there with way more upside. I'm not playing Pierce anywhere. I don't care if he's 40% rostered or 4 or 400. I'm not playing him anywhere. He has, where I saw the craziest stat this week. He has, okay, don't quote me on this. It was something along the lines of that. He has 0 yards before contact. The man is just getting eaten alive.
Yeah,
in the last
that's a nasty defensive line. I know their run D sucks, but
in the last
what threat
5 to 6 weeks, he is just getting absolutely pummeled behind the line. Like I can't do it. I absolutely cannot do it. There's no chance.
I'm going Rodgers, man.
Oh, that's a tough question. I'm taking Justin. I hate to go against you here, but I'm taking Justin Fields. I'm taking Justin.
Oh, good luck, David. So you're going with a White Sox fan or an Expos hat? Expos hat's pretty lethal. Yeah. Just know that.
Did you see the Jets? And speaking of Expos, we're kind of going on a little bit of a tangent here with retro franchises, but did you see the Jets walk out in Mighty Ducks jerseys? The Jets might win by 35 today.
Damn. D2 or what jersey?
Like
Anaheim Mighty Ducks or like
the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. They pulled up as a squad, everybody wearing Anaheim Mighty Ducks jerseys. Absolutely lethal.
I wonder what the reference is. It's got to be
someone was rocking
a
Conway jersey. Like, man, it was elite.
The movie. Yeah, because the team's out of
elite.
St. Paul.
No, they had half of them had the movie jersey, half of them had the actual Anaheim Mighty Ducks, like 2000s jerseys. Like the actual
great trilogy. I'm with you, man. That's one of my favorite trilogies as a child. And hot take here, D2 is my favorite movie. D3 the second, and then the original is the third for me. So there you go. But moving on, Kareem Hunt. Do you have any interest in Kareem Hunt? Because I don't. Let me pull up ownership on Zonovan Knight's the only reason I'm going to mention Kareem Hunt. And Zonovan Knight's ownership's like 10%. I think that's dead money. I think if you had to play a running back that low, it's going to be Kareem Hunt for me with the mindset that Cleveland gets up 20-plus points and kind of takes the brakes off of or puts the brakes on Nick Chubb, and Kareem Hunt gets in the end zone. So
how much is he on DK?
48. So not a great play by any means, but instead of Zonovan Knight, that's where I went in my MME contest because I took out Knight. I did have him there in the beginning of the week. And I just put Kareem Hunt there every time.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. It wouldn't take much to get over the field. I'm definitely not playing him anywhere other than large field tournaments. But
yeah, same. All right. Any love for Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones? I think we're kind of out on.
No, I'm only playing Nick Chubb. I'm only playing Nick Chubb. That's it.
Cool. Both defenses, I think, are in play. I think the Texans will certainly be motivated to stop Deshaun Watson. Yes. They don't really have the personnel to do so, but Deshaun Watson hasn't played in damn near 2 years. So moving on to the Mighty Ducks, the Miracle Men, the Minnesota Miracle Man, right? That's what they called.
Yeah.
Oh, man, what is the coach's name? Why can't I think of it? Oh, Gordon Bombay. All right, Kirk Cousins, Mike White. I know Jason's into Mike White. I think C was into Mike White. I'm 1,000% out on, I think, everything in this game. Garrett Wilson is going to be one of the highest owned wide receivers on the slate. So, again, note that for your cash game lineups on DraftKings. I think you probably don't want to fade that. You should probably eat it. I hate fading Justin Jefferson, but I respect the Jets D too much, and I respect Robert Saleh too much. I've been saying that all year long. Dalvin Cook's kind of just whatever for me. Probably if he was priced, I feel like at 7,200, I'd still rather have Aaron Jones at 6,900. But other than that, I'm out on this game completely. The total's not even high too, so it's like if people are. I guess it could be a shootout, but I don't know. It's not for me. So if your game plan is that this game shoots out, sure, Justin Jefferson's a fantastic play always. He's just a number one priced wide receiver. I'd rather have Tyreek or Devontae Adams is my thought process there. Adam Thielen's got a pretty nice price, but what is the ceiling? We probably saw it on Thanksgiving. That probably is his ceiling. So it's touchdown or bust for him. And the Jets running back, James Robinson, is going to be active. So I'm 100% out on that whole situation. I'm not playing Thielen, Brian, but thank you. I'm investing in higher total games this week.
This is my version of your Pittsburgh stack. Okay. I did Mike White with Wilson and running back with Hawkinson. Just under 15K. Just under 15K. You get, I mean, I get it. You're not getting massive names, but you are getting primary contributors on each one of those offenses. You're getting Mike White, who's going to throw the ball a ton today, right? And it's in those Trevor Lawrence lineups, I'm playing Mike White, I'm playing Aaron Rodgers, I'm playing other guys in that price range, and Mike White is going to throw the ball a ton today. So the upside is going to be there. Do I need him to blow the socks off the slate? No, absolutely not. Can he get me 3 to 4x at 5.5K? Yeah, absolutely. Like the man can easily hit 15 points to 20 points, no problem. So that's something that
I like the hot call.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with it. I wanted it. If I'm playing Mike White with Wilson, I'm not running it back with JJ and fully committing to this game. The whole point of me stacking this, well, I don't even want to say stack. It's a little 3-man going on here, but the whole reason of me doing that is that I can load up on the Amon-Ra St. Browns, on the Travis Kelce's, on the other guys that I want to play, right? So a 3-man mini stack with my quarterback, his number one wide receiver, Hawkinson on the way back. With JJ on sauce, I'm hoping that Hawkinson is going to be able to get many more looks over the middle. And that's essentially what I'm going for there with that Hawkinson play. 15K for a little 3-man stack in this one. That's it. I'm not playing anything else from this game. I'm not playing Knight. I'm not getting Q with anything else. It's just that 3-man stack for me. That's it.
Yep, I did take Zonovan Knight off the article this morning, so he is no longer cash viable for me. So make sure, if you guys read that, built your lineups earlier, take him out. Jamal Williams and Pirine, Pirine's going to be a lock for me. I'm assuming Mixon's out. If he does play, I have a lot of late swap action to do. So remember, flex Pirine if you are not flexing a different skill position player that's not a running back, in case you got to move off. Jamal Williams and Pirine, I think you like both. I'm not super into Jamal Williams, but the GPP upside's there for sure. It's one of the highest total games he's played in outside of Thanksgiving with the Bills. So in terms of like touchdown equity, it's certainly, like we said, probably number 3 on the slate outside of Chubb and Derrick Henry in red zone usage. So do you like both, or would you choose? I'm choosing Pirine if I had to choose one, and I think you're probably going to say you like both, don't you?
Not only am I playing both, I'm playing both together in so many lineups. Like that is my most utilized running back duo in any format possible. It's both of those guys at 6K together.
Love it. All right, tight end value for FanDuel. Just me looking at it, I don't really play much on FanDuel. If Pat Freiermuth is considered a value, I would certainly go there. I mean, Foster Moreau's okay too in terms of red zone usage. Is there anybody cheaper that you're thinking of? I got one guy that's absolutely great, but I love his matchup. But he's not nearly as cheap as he is on DraftKings, so I probably don't think he's FanDuel viable. And I'm not into Harrison Bryant either.
I probably wouldn't go below Moreau.
Conklin's okay. I don't know.
You need touchdowns, man. I say this every single week for FanDuel players. You guys need touchdowns. So like for me, it's like there's so much value on the slate that I'm forcing Travis Kelce in there, and it's not even forcing it. It's just you're paying for wide receiver 1 without having wide receiver 1 price. And I like Hawkinson, Freiermuth.
So Hayden Hurst was mentioned here too. I don't love Hayden Hurst. I mean, in terms of game environment, it's fantastic for him. With Chase back,
Yeah.
And Casey does not run a lot of cover 3. That's why we liked Hayden Hurst a ton last week, because Tennessee only runs cover 1 and cover 3. Hayden Hurst gets a significant target share against cover 3 defense, and no Jamar Chase last week. With Jamar Chase coming back and Kansas City pretty much refusing to run cover 3 defense, I don't think this is a good spot for Hayden Hurst. But if you just want a cheap guy that's in a fantastic game and hopefully he gets in for a touchdown or two, Hayden Hurst certainly checks that box.
That's it.
No, don't play Oliver. Isaiah Likely's back. And yeah, just play Mark Andrews if you have to. Play a Raven, but no. Moving on to the next game, and then we'll move on to the next game again. Washington and New York. Saquon Barkley is going to be like 2% owned. So do with that as you will. Terry McLaurin's getting a ton of targets from Taylor Heineke. Other than that, that game could have fun with it. It sounds like Antonio Gibson's going to play. Brian Robinson, 5,300. I guess I'll mention him. That's cheap enough to where it's a good leverage play too, especially when, well, I don't know. It seems like the field is going to be off Donovan Knight. Now they said it's in a running back by committee. The DFS community does panic with late news. I mean, you saw it last week when they ruled out James Robinson. Everybody started flocking to Michael Carter. I think both of you and I were out, but he was like 15 to 20% owned in some contest.
It was crazy.
That's insane. Yeah, it's like the late news is like all that dictates the field movement on Sunday. I'm just out in general, but Brian Robinson's cheap, sure. Doesn't really do it for me, but it's okay. And then Saquon Barkley obviously could always break the slate at 0% ownership. I have no interest this week. Can't play everybody. That's kind of how I look at it. But let's move on to Philly. Brian's Eagles. Jalen Hurts, 4% ownership, probably one of my favorite GPP quarterbacks on this slate. One of probably my second favorite wide receiver on this slate outside Devontae Adams is A.J. Brown. All Tennessee runs is cover 1 and cover 3. That is where A.J. Brown absolutely feasts. Sure, you could talk about the revenge narrative too, but my only concern is that Tennessee runs the ball 40 times, keeps the clock moving, and obviously Jalen Hurts could do all the rushing upside in the red zone with his legs, but I think A.J. Brown absolutely smashes this week, and he's one of my I don't know if he's a core GPP play because of the price, but he is honorable mention. If he's not in my main lineup, he is in lineup number 2.
It's one of my most utilized combos in tournaments.
Absolutely love it.
Hurts A.J. Brown.
We talk about it every week.
It's the same price as Mahomes to Kelsey.
Yeah, I think it's – I mean, and honestly, man, Jalen Hurts probably has a higher ceiling than Patrick Mahomes, doesn't he? Probably not a higher floor because Mahomes is just walking into every single football field in the country and throwing for 303 minimum. But Jalen Hurts can literally run for 150 rushing yards in every given day, and that's nuts. So, yeah, A.J. Brown is my pair of choice. Devonta Smith – not really for me. He's a guy I like to pick on when it's a little more cover 2 and cover 4, but he is good against cover 3. And it's Devonta Smith, too. I mean, he could always catch a deep ball. But A.J. Brown, I think, is a guy that absolutely feasts today with against the cover 1 for Tennessee. Any run back for the Hurts stack? I mean, Derrick Henry, certainly. Philly's run defense is weak. Green Bay stuck it to him. I mean, they've been giving up like 5.5 yards a carry, I believe. Don't quote me there. It's close to that, I think. But yeah, the only run back for me, if I were to force one, is Derrick Henry, right? That is the Titans offense.
Yeah, I played like a couple with Burks, but most of them I just have Hurts and A.J. Brown. No run back.
You want to hear the gross call of the day?
Yeah.
This one's not the Discord diamond. Chig Okonkwo. 4 catches, 40 yards, and a touchdown. 2,600 on DraftKings. As long, like in my Philly stacks, he's actually a run back too. So Eli Mitchell, Eli's on the IR, so he's playing some DFS now. I like that. Good for you. But yeah, if you need ridiculous salary relief, don't be surprised that this guy goes for 3 points total. But Chig Okonkwo for Tennessee continues to just run or gets targeted damn near every route he runs. He doesn't run a ton of routes, but he's not out there to block. Dude's super talented. I got him for 4 for 40 and a touchdown at 2.6K on DraftKings. Fantastic value. That is going to be 0% owned. But you need Philly to score a ton of points, so Tennessee kind of has to give up the run game. That is my warning with Chig Okonkwo. I assume you did not have any thoughts on Chig Okonkwo.
We'll go to the next game.
Just want that to be known. I'm calling a touchdown.
Neither one of us has had enough coffee for a conversation about Chig
Jay,
Okongwu.
Jay, if you're listening, could you please sharp app search the touchdown odds? Anytime touchdown scorer. I don't want that first touchdown nonsense that people bet.
Yeah.
Give me any time line on Chig, please. Seattle at the Rams. Kenneth Walker should be in a fantastic game environment here for him, but John Wolford starting for the Rams. You're not playing Wolford this week, are you? I know you mentioned him last time we got the start.
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
No. That was a one-time. That was a one-time thing. That was a one-time thing. He was the stone cold minimum 4K, and no, this offense is completely dead. And even I think he put up like 11 or 12 points that week. Like he actually went for 3x. He was stone cold 4K. It was against I'm
a firm believer you need 4x or 5x for your QB.
Yeah, 4K, like I'll take it. I'm just surprised the man finished the game. Like,
I mean, he was injured right after it. Points bet.
But right. No, this offense is completely dead. I faded this game entirely, to be honest with you. I'm not playing a running back that has to run up the gut into Aaron Donald's grill. It's not happening.
All right. Well, Aaron Donald's out.
Is he?
Yeah, first game he's missing.
No way.
Yeah.
They're just chalking it for the season then? How? He literally logged practices and everything. They just told him, nah, you're sitting.
Yeah, unless someone out here said something different. Aaron Donald, I believe, is out. Let me check. Stand by. Aaron Donald's out. He didn't practice.
Bro, he literally practiced on Wednesday. Oh my God.
The DMP. Yeah, he's out. So I think Kenneth Walker is in a good spot. But again, can't play everybody. He is not a favorite for me. But if Kenneth Walker fits in your lineup, that is great. Chiaconquo. I got to get this damn bet in. How do I? There we go. Hold it. All right.
You're actually betting on Okongwu to score? I'll do it with you if you're doing it.
8-1. Put 2/10 of 2/10 of a unit on there and call it.
We're doing $20. Calling it $20.
I'm gonna bet 100 on him.
I take it.
But I'm a degenerate, so just know that. Give us your thoughts while you bet this prop. Miami and San Francisco. I think this is one of the better games on the slate. But Miami, I believe, has some offensive line concerns. So while you start that, I'll get Miami injury report up too.
Points bet, your favorite book. Miami San Fran. No, nobody's playing Tyreek Hill this week. I get it. It's a tough matchup. Miami's looked lethal. Their offense is absolutely rolling. And I don't want to say it's to the point where it's matchup proof. Obviously, San Fran is one of, if not the best defense in the league, and just overall team in general. San Fran's an absolute powerhouse. But for me, that's the game environment that I look for. It's not, you can't just look at it from that angle. You kind of have to look at the fact that this is a extremely competitive game, and everyone's going to rely on their big time playmakers. So for me, this game is going completely overlooked. I have exposure to it in the afternoon slate. It's not on my main lineup, but I have exposure to it in the afternoon.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, Tyreek Hill under 10%, Jalen Waddle under 10%, Christian McCaffrey like 1%. You're probably not playing any Miami running backs. I think it's a revenge game for the whole Miami team because McDaniel kind of took everybody over there. Deebo Samuel is severely questionable. Brandon Ayuk under 5% owned. I think this is a really good spot for him. George Kittle, Miami does struggle against opposing tight ends. I believe they're bottom 5 in pass defense DVOA to tight ends. So 5K for him. The only issue with Kittle is how much he blocks. And yes, please hit that subscribe button. Or like and subscribe. We greatly, greatly appreciate that. Greatly appreciate everybody's time and questions. This show is for you guys too. So, there we go. Conquer 12 points. Hit it. All we need is Philly.
Yeah, that one I'll take. That one I'll definitely hammer.
Free money. Free money, baby. Let's go. All right. Teron Armstead is doubtful for Miami. That hurts. Austin Jackson is out. I don't think he's that good of an offensive tackle. I don't have my grade for him yet. But Teron Armstead being out hurts. So I will do, I guess I'll talk a little bit about the Diamond Discord or the Discord Diamond. With Teron Armstead out.
You're actually doing it? You're actually giving away the goodies like that?
I'll mention, if you go to windailysports.com, sort by value on the wide receiver position, I believe he is the number one value. I will not tell you why I love him so much. Number 2 value. Number 1 value is Sky Moore. He's 3,100. Other guy in this game, technically a revenge narrative too. Trent Sherfield for the Miami Dolphins. Without Teron Armstead, I think that helps him even more. He is one of the lower 8-out runners. I know if you look at his recent 8-out, it is bombs, but he is a short route runner in the middle of this offense. The dude runs a ton of routes. I'm giving you the whole write-up. Go to Discord if you want to read more about my 0% owned GPP call of the week of Trent Sherfield. I would not prioritize him. Don't make him a priority in your lineup. But if you need that type of savings because you're playing Devontae Adams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tyreek Hill, whatever, or if you're playing Tua, I think he's a very viable punt double stack option. You're playing Tyreek Hill. If you're playing Tua, just let me say that. Jalen Waddle, obviously, you could play him as well. I have no interest in Gesicki, but I just wanted to be known. The 2 gross calls of the week for me is going to be Chig or Okonkwo, but I think you're better off playing Chig in the betting market, like Dunlap up here said. Just play that. I mean, his props 12.5 yards. What's really that going to do for you in DFS? Like, you need a touchdown or bust. So go to Chig in the sports books and give Trent Sherfield a look if you need a complete punt option right now. How gross is this? Fields, P. Ryan. God, you're playing Fields. If you're playing AJB,
We just said
play
playing
Hurts.
ETN. Why are you playing ETN?
He can play it. I'm not talking people off ETN. If they like it, it's a good game environment. I get it. But Okonkwo and Sky
0.5%
together,
rostered Travis Etienne.
I'm okay with it. I don't like it. I'm out on it, but I'm not going to. If people like him, that's fine. It's a good spot for him, but it's not for me. But Miles, just looking at this, dude, if you look at Sky Moore and Okonkwo together and they combined for 4 points, would that surprise you? The answer to me is no. It certainly wouldn't be, and you're dead if you get 2 guys combined for 4 points. So unless you're okay with it, it's like a Millie type of play, I guess. But even then, I don't want that low of floors. Like if I'm playing Okonkwo, it's simply because the rest of my lineup is absolutely loaded. So my thoughts there. Greatly appreciate you, Hockey Brothers. Thank you for the kind words. More questions, guys. We're almost done with this damn slate. KC at Cincinnati. It sounds like Mixon's going to miss. So P. Ryan, absolute lock button. If you're making 150 lineups, put him in 120, in my opinion. It's just too much usage, great price, great game environment. 3 down back. I mean, honestly, I like his 3 down role more than I like Mixon's because like P. Ryan comes in when Mixon plays. Now that it's just Travion Williams and Chris Evans, this coaching staff hates Chris Evans. They refuse to let him play. I think he fumbled too last week, didn't he?
It was terrible, man. Like we talked about that last week. We expressed how much we liked P. Ryan, and we played him everywhere. But we were just saying, like, just something to note is that Chris Evans might.
I actually did not like P. Ryan last week.
You did? I played him.
He was
it's the same thing that I'm doing this week. I did 85% in 150. I got up to 85% last week, and I'm doing the same thing this week. I'm just doubling down. Yeah,
he is in the cash game Fab 5 too, so he is in there. Lock him in.
Yep. And yeah, like the one thing that the only reason why I went, this sounds like this is the Sunday morning degenerate statement of the day. Only reason why I went 85% instead of 100% PRN was I was like, oh, maybe Chris Evans gets some touches, or maybe Travion Williams gets some touches, and then I'm burnt. And the coaching staff absolutely hates these guys, man. It's not they refuse. Joe Burrow's going to throw the ball 50 times in this game, and P. Ryan's not going to leave the field.
Play P. Ryan.
Have to.
All right. On the other side, I love a 3% owned Isaiah Pacheco. When these KC high total games that are a tight spread, I seem to always find value in the KC running back spot. It's usually Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Last year's when this was at its peak for me, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think, ran for like 88 yards and 2 touchdowns last year against this Cincinnati defense. Their run defense is their weaker spot. Their secondary is a little bit banged up, and it's Patrick Mahomes. Like, obviously, every single key player in this matchup is fantastic. If I had to choose the wide receivers, but again, I just want to prioritize Isaiah Pacheco. P. Ryan and Pacheco is a core GPP combo for me. Pacheco's probably not going to be used in cash. Absolutely don't do that. But P. Ryan is a lock in all formats for me. And it sounds like you too, Ghost. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. I like Jamar Chase. I mean, if he's playing, he's playing. They are not going to just give him a pitch count. This is a game that Joe Burrow wants to win. This is a game that Patrick Mahomes wants to win. Obviously, any game they probably want to win, but this is a game to get up for. We mentioned Sky Moore as a value. Again, guy only plays like 40% of the snaps and doesn't run a ton of routes, but when he does, he gets targeted. So take that for what it's worth. I do prefer Sherfield, I believe, in this spot at that 3K punt. Juju, under 10% owned. This is a matchup where Juju should absolutely feast. Cincinnati runs cover 2 and cover 3. Advantage Juju. When they blitz, advantage Kelsey. And obviously it's Travis Kelsey too. So I mean, that is my stack. If I'm playing Mahomes, it's with Juju and Kelsey. If I had to take the value in Sky Moore, I would. MVS just doesn't do it for me.
I played Pacheco in cash last week. I remember texting you that.
He should have scored twice. I think Jason scored twice.
Yeah, it was. I played him in cash last week, and that worked extremely well. But I don't think there's a guy that's not viable in this game. On the Cincy side, made it crystal clear I'm all in on Pirine. It was the same thing last week, same thing this week. I like T. Higgins a ton for tournaments as well. I don't want to go out on a crazy limb and say that he's going to outscore Amon-Ra St. Brown, but that's the kind of pivot that you would have to have in mind when you're playing T. Higgins. Like, you need him to outscore a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown, being $200 more on DK. He's right under guys like Jalen Waddle and AJ Brown. Like, he's in no man's land in terms of where he's at on the pricing grid. He's going to go completely unrostered, especially with Jamar Chase back. It's the one thing that I want to point out. Don't go all running to your computers and locking in T. Higgins at 150 lineups. Don't do that. But it's just something to consider when you're playing these large field tournaments, that literally everybody around T. Higgins on the pricing grid will be rostered at ridiculous rates over him. So something to consider. Joe Burrow is both cash and tournament viable for me. I think that he's an excellent cash game quarterback if you can't get all the way up to someone like Mahomes, or if you're not paying up for quarterback, you rather pay down. I'm not going down to T-Law. Joe Burrow in the mid-range would be the spot that I would land on. Tournaments, he's a great play as well. He's going to throw the ball a ton. I'm out on Hurst. Jamar Chase is interesting. Intriguing for tournaments. Pacheco all in terms of a 1-2 stack with Pirine at the running back position. Those are the three most running backs that I have exposure to. It's Jamal Williams, Pirine, and Pacheco. Kelsey everywhere and anywhere that I can fit it. And I play Juju a ton. If I'm not paying down at quarterback, I'm playing Jalen Hurts or I'm playing Patrick Mahomes at the top.
Love it. No, I mean, this game has so much fantasy fireworks, and yeah, I absolutely love just getting cheap exposure to Kansas City touchdowns, and that's what my goal here with Isaiah Pacheco. But sub 5%, absolutely loaded up. Let's hit some questions. If folks are coming in hot, let's go. Jimmy G stacks, without Debo, that worries me. So no, I think again, I'd rather go to the value of like Aaron Rodgers in that price range and Kenny Pickett for me, and I think you're on Mike White. So I think Jimmy G, he'd be third for me on that list, Mike White being 4, and it sounds like Jimmy G would be number 4 for you, right?
Yeah, I would go in that range. I'd play, well, first of all, I'd rather play a quarterback that's on the IR before I play Jimmy G. I hate Jimmy G with a passion, but jokes aside, I'd rather play Mike White, and then Mike White, Rodgers, Carr, 1, 2, 3 in that range for me, probably.
Respect.
And I know you mentioned Kenny Pickett as well. There's just other options that we like.
Okay. Garrett Wilson or Nico for cash. So they're $1,100 difference. So I don't know what that's going to do to your lineup. I'm going with Nico just because I need that value, and I'm trying to find a way to get Garrett Wilson in there too to avoid the chalk smash coming up. But I am definitely fading Garrett Wilson at GPP. But in cash, I guess my answer would be both. But make sure you get a stud running back to someone like Eckler or Jacobs in there then. But
I'm playing both.
Adams.
I'm playing both in cash because it allows me to get either, this is with Joe Burrow at quarterback, you can take the option between Eckler, Chubb, or Travis Kelsey by doing that if you play both with the other 2 cash wide receivers that I mentioned. So you have all 4 of my wide receivers in my cash build if you rewind the show.
Okay. What about this one?
Yeah, it's not really about a game environment. To me, it's like, is LA Vegas a better game environment? Absolutely. For me, it's just I look at Mike White and he's going to throw the ball every single time. Their running back situation is a colossal disaster right now. They're going to be chasing points. It's a competitive team. They're low-key fighting for the division right now. And in that case, they're going to put the ball in Mike White's hands, and that's what I want. Whereas the Raiders right now, it's Josh Jacobs I can argue that in the previous 12 weeks, there has been no better matchup than there has been for Josh Jacobs. He's running like an absolute freight train right now. And the Chargers are down 2 O-line. 2 others are banged up. They're active, but they're banged up. So for me, I don't know how much Derek Carr is going to be needed to absolutely sling it in this game. For me, it's more Josh Jacobs with a Charger stack in the event that the Chargers are surprisingly chasing points in that game. Whereas in the Jets, I know they're going to be chasing points. And they need this game. They're fighting for the division title. Whether people like to see it or not, they're fighting for a division title right now. And there's no way they hand off the ball to Zonovan Knight 20 times to be able to try and keep up with Josh Allen for a division title. It's not happening.
I love it. Dak or Watson? Dak all day, right?
Yep, 100%.
Pickens, Swift, or Jamal? I'm going Pickens. And then
you already know my
answer. Definitely not
Swift. You already know my answer. I got tunnel vision though. It's not because I'm disagreeing with you. I just got I'm too puck committed. I'm puck committed.
Tunnel vision.
I'm puck committed, man. I can't do it. I can't go back and edit all those lineups. No. I'm puck committed. I'm playing Pickens in cash and I'm playing them everywhere anyway. So to me, it's like it's not really a fair question because it's 2 different positions.
Fair. That is fair. All right.
I'm looking for an easy way out to that question. But yeah, I'll take Jamal Williams. I'm playing Pickens everywhere though.
Yeah, Atlanta's run defense sucks. For me, I'm rustling paving. You got Ghost. Give us your shout out, your commercial.
Rustling paving for all your paving and concrete needs.
I love it. Good to see you.
That's the OG, man.
I mean,
wow.
Najee's a good GPP play. No one's going to play him. I don't trust his health, and I think we're going to see some McFarland and Jaylen Warren again. I mean, I think Benny Snell's out, right? Is there any word on that?
I texted you that.
No, Benny Snell's good to go
because I remember. Benny Snell's
he's playing.
Active.
There's just too many guys.
I think we might have added like 6 Steelers running backs as possibilities to like when we were doing projections. I think I might have added like 5 or 6 empty slots for Steelers running backs because we had no idea what was going to happen by the end of the week. That was an absolute disaster.
Oh, all right. Do we like P. Ryan? Oh, someone else clicking buttons here real quick. Do we like P. Ryan over rushing or reception yards? I think I'd go.
I went all-purpose yards.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd lean rushing, but I like the combo. If we can get all-purpose around like 79, I think that's what I saw on.
Yeah.
Also, if you don't have the Sharp app, download that and just go to all-purpose yards for Samaje P. Ryan. It will tell you the best book in your state that has the price. Watson or Geno? I'm going Geno. I'm just not playing the unknown of Deshaun Watson. And I get it if you want to go with it. I mean, he's an absolute stud. I mean, Deshaun Watson's a top 3, top 4 fantasy quarterback when he's rolling. I don't know. I don't know what to expect for game 1, and that's the unknown that scares me. I think either way that's a good situation to be in, I'd say, for your fantasy quarterbacks, Watson or Geno. Mike White, FanDuel, punt Bellinger. I'm out on Bellinger. I'm out on every Giant. Like Pickett or Pat or Pickens, or I like Pickett and Pickens better for complete upside, for safety and overall salary relief. Pickett and Pat. Cobb or DeMarcus Robinson? Oh God, that's gross. I'm going Cobb. I hate it, but yeah, I'm going Cobb. Just looking at your eyes, you don't like any of it.
That's gross. That's
it's got to be season 1.
I was not that caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting a question like that. Wow.
All right. Yeah, gentlemen, shotgun beer. Brian, I will shotgun 3 beers today.
I'll shotgun a 6-pack.
I'll send you beer if Jameson Williams gets over 15.
Yeah, I'll make it a 6-pack.
I will bet you also that Trent Sherfield outscores Jameson Williams.
Ooh, that one's spicy. I like it.
All right, moving on to the last game, the Chargers at the Las Vegas Raiders. I loved Justin Herbert coming into this game. Ownership is sub 5%. Like, dude, every great quarterback play is, besides Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is going to be like 20% owned, but it's Joe Burrow. If you like Joe Burrow, ride it. Corey Linsley's out for the Chargers, and that scares me. He is their number one. He's one of the best pass blockers in the NFL. Not even to say like he's the best player or best lineman on the Chiefs, or on the Chargers, no doubt. That worries me a little bit at 7,200. Like, we're paying a pretty high price for Herbert. This game just has absolutely no defense. So even without Lindsay, it's like, who's going to stop who? This game literally should go like 40-40. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on Justin Herbert? He did struggle this year. It was Denver's defense in the middle of the season when Denver was playing a little bit better, especially on the defensive side of the football. And Herbert only threw for like 230 yards when Lindsay missed the game. And then last year, I believe Lindsay missed a game, and they lost to the Houston Texans. But I think Herbert threw for over 300, but he threw the ball like 58 times. So, I mean, but that's what the Chargers do. They refuse to run the football. So if you're on Herbert, just keep an eye on it. I mean, Lindsay being out hurts, but I don't think it's end all be all, because it's like Ghost says with Mike White, when you just get that many pass attempts, production is just bound to follow it. So I'm okay if you're still on Herbert. To me, it scared me off a little bit. If I'm paying that price, I want a perfect situation. I'd rather just go to, Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes, find a way up there. Derek Carr, 5,600, fantastic value. Probably the same reason I like Pickett is why you could make a case for Derek Carr against this Chargers defense. Again, I like Pickett because the rushing upside as well. Derek Carr doesn't do that. And like Ghost already said, the Raiders don't love to chuck the football. So if they don't have to, if they can control this game, and maybe Corey Linsley being out is a narrative you could tell yourself that the Raiders kind of do control this game a little bit, we're going to see a lot of Zamir White, a lot of Josh Jacobs, probably some Amir Abdullah on passing down work. It could be a slower game. So just something to think about. I personally don't see how anybody could get a stop in this game, but that's why I like Kenny Pickett more than Derek Carr, is because he's going to rush for 20-plus yards, and that's just not a ton of quarterbacks on this slate don't do that. But what are your thoughts on the two quarterbacks here? I mean, on paper, it's the best spot in the world for Justin Herbert and these pass catchers, Keenan Allen and Josh Palmer. And
yeah,
Austin Eckler also gets a massive coverage upgrade against everything that Las Vegas does. They run cover 1, cover 2, cover 3, and they blitz a ton. Austin Eckler feasts against all those coverages. So, yeah, they're going to have linebackers trying to play man coverage on Austin Eckler. Good luck.
And that's what I was going to mention, was that I already touched on the Raiders side of the football in, I guess I could say, the last game when we discussed the questions about Mike White versus Derek Carr. But for the Chargers, look, like, I'm not going to talk anybody off of playing Justin Herbert. My concern is not with the fact that he doesn't have a safe floor. He certainly does. For me, it's just, can he keep pace with the Burrows, the Mahomes, and the Hurtses of the slate? That, for me, is the question with their offensive line so banged up. And right now, I lean no, which is why I'm not in on Justin Herbert. That being said, I still have exposure to this offense through Austin Eckler. And that was a guy that, when I was looking at matchup-based defenses, he gets one of the highest boosts with what their situation is right now.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot of, I don't want to say checkdowns, because Justin Herbert has an absolute cannon of an arm, but it's going to be a lot of routes for Austin Eckler. And the upside for both he and Keenan Allen are massive in this game, because he's going to have to let go of that thing real quick. And those are the two guys that I would have played regardless in a Herbert stack.
Yeah,
but for me, it's just, if I'm playing a 1-2 in this game, if you're going up to Josh Jacobs, or you're paying up for Devontae Adams, like the one thing about this game that I really hope it does kind of die down, and that the Raiders, like, that exact script plays out the way that we both explained it, and what I was saying earlier with Josh Jacobs running the football, Chargers chasing points, struggling a bit on offense. Derek Carr doesn't have to chuck it. Therefore, Mike White outscores him. Like, for all that to play out, I don't really want to stack this game, and I hope it really does die towards the end there. Like, I needed to slow down, but both these defenses can't get a stop for their lives. So it's the one thing that, if you're investing in this game, you need to be pot committed, because all the big time playmakers are at the top of their respective positions. Josh Jacobs is 8K now. Devontae Adams is always at the top of the pricing grid. Like, it's just, that's what it is. So for me, I'd rather just get a one-off with a mid-range value like Keenan Allen, or if you're going for safety, I'd take Austin Eckler at the top of the pricing grid, because the passing, the receiving upside, excuse me, is absolutely huge in this game.
Yeah, I love it, dude. I absolutely love Austin Eckler. The model loves him too. Keenan Allen, obviously great play. Devontae Adams, my favorite wide receiver on the slate in terms of just picking one, not including price. But let's get to our overall summary. A couple questions here. I'm going AJ Brown, man. I love AJ Brown here. Jamar Chase, there's a lot of mouths to feed. I love him in a game stack environment, but one off, I'm going AJ Brown. Dalvin or Kenneth Walker? Oh man,
I'm taking Dalvin.
Oh, it's got to be
taking
DFS
Dalvin.
probably. Prices.
I'm taking Dalvin.
Dalvin.
Yeah, I like Dalvin in that game script. I just ran it back with Hawkinson because I rather other playmakers in other games, but I do like Dalvin this week.
I'm gonna go Kenneth Walker by nose. That's a must-win for Seattle. DeAndre Carter, good punt play. It is what it is. I mean, he runs shorter routes too, so the blitz is sure. I mean, the Raiders don't really blitz a lot, but Lindsley being, I don't know. I'd rather go to Sherfield than Sky Moore. Eckler, Moreau, Sky, or Walker, Kittle, Sherfield. I think Eckler.
I'll take option one there.
Yeah, Eckler. Jacobs.
I just think Kittle's gonna have to block a ton in that game.
I'm going Adams.
Yeah, raw points. I'm taking Devontae Adams.
Pickens or Juju? I'm going Juju.
Yeah, raw points, Juju. I like Pickens a ton today, though. Point per dollar, it's going to be closer.
Let's do it. Ooh, I love these little one-offs. Chubb or Eckler? Oh God,
I'm taking Chubb. I'm taking Nick Chubb there.
I'm going Eckler. Eckler's not leaving the field.
No, he's not.
Chubb could go for 102 and his day's done. Eckler could get 12 catches
but he could do that in the first quarter.
All right, cash quarterback.
Burrow.
GPP quarterback.
Burrow, Mahomes, Hurts, Mike White.
All right, cash quarterback. I'll do it. I'll do Trevor Lawrence. Other than that, it's going to be Justin Herbert for me outside of that, just because he's still going to pass it 40 times. I'm probably not going to play Burrow in cash. I know his ownership warrants it. But GPP, up top, it's Mahomes and Hurts. And down low, Kenny Pickett, baby. Coming out party for Kenny Pickett. Running back, cash. I'm going to both say we are 100%. Everybody that's listening, if you're not playing P. Ryan in your cash game lineup or your double up lineup, whatever you want to call it in DFS, rebuild. So cash, I'm going P. Ryan, GPP, and probably Josh Jacobs in cash too is what I'm doing. GPP, Isaiah Pacheco, and Aaron Jones. But P. Ryan's going to be locked everywhere for me. Let me just make that as clear as possible.
Jamal Williams.
Next
question.
And Nick Chubb, I'm sure, is your high-end GPP.
Yeah, like you already said, P. Ryan's a lock for me everywhere. So that's my cash running back. I'll give one because I already gave so many of my wide receivers that I'm playing already. But and then tournaments, Jamal Williams is going to be my go-to. Jamal Williams and Pacheco are number 2 and number 3 in terms of overall exposure, what I have. And at the top of the grid, it's going to be Nick Chubb and Eckler. Chubb before Eckler, though.
All right. Cash game wide receivers. I'm on Ross St. Brown. Nico Collins or Garrett Wilson. I'm going Nico Collins. I got the jersey on. So Nico Collins. And I'm on Ross St. Brown.
Garrett Wilson, and I'm playing Pickens and cash.
Pickens? Really?
Yep.
I like that.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Interesting. GPPs, Devontae Adams, AJ Brown. Absolutely love him. And then give me all the Christian Kirk I could play in this world.
AJ Brown, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen. I feel like I'm missing someone. Oh,
Juju. Someone 5K. Okay, 5K range.
Good. 5K or below?
Yeah, that's Juju. Juju's 5K range. No, just 5K range. It's fine.
Yeah, Juju.
We've talked about the values that we like multiple times. Tight end, Kelsey, more Kelsey, and then Pat Freiermuth for me. I'm eating chalk at tight end this week. Sounds gross, but I love this spot for Pat Freiermuth against Atlanta's cover 3, and Travis Kelsey is a wide receiver 1 that gets a tight end tag.
Are
And
we
you like
doing?
Hawk too?
That was gonna be mine.
Yeah.
Only 3 tight ends I'm playing in any format: Kelsey, Hawkinson, and Pat Fry. That's it.
Cool.
That's my tight end player pool.
All right. Thank you guys a ton. We greatly appreciate it.
Steelers D for cash. Steelers D. Sorry to cut you off.
Steelers D on DraftKings for cash. They're going to take
because I already anticipate that question coming in. So Steelers D.
Will Hunkett work in a blowout? I certainly think so. I mean, I'm playing him over Zonovan Knight, but again, I don't love that situation very much. But I will certainly have lineups with Kareem Hunt that are loaded with studs. Jones okay for cash RB? Aaron Jones? Yeah, I think at that price, I mean, the model certainly thinks so. The ownership won't be there, so you don't need to do it. But you'll kind of be on an island. If Aaron Jones has a good day, you're probably going to be great in cash. That's why I prefer him in GPP, because if he goes off, you might as well you're going to be in the top 30% of your tournament anyway. You might as well play a GPP for that. But yeah, he's cash viable, absolutely. Good luck, guys. Appreciate you. Thanks for hitting the like button, all that good stuff. Good luck, and hit us up in Discord, Twitter, whatever you want to do.